Hi guys and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Steins video. Today we are checking out episode number 13. Nothing can go wrong with a number like 13, right? We're going to start to fix things, hopefully. I don't know. I really don't know where this series is going anymore. I was kind of following along and it was going in one direction and I was following along with that. And now that we've gone off those rails entirely, we're going in an entirely different direction. I'm excited to see where we go. I have no expectations, no ideas whatsoever, though I do have one that I want to share before I start watching the video. But real quick, first of all, I'm not long awake and and I think I'm coming down with allergies, so my voice might sound a bit weird, my nose might sound a bit like congested or whatever, and my left eye is very red, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But real quick, I'm going to share a theory that I maybe have related to episode 1. So it's a theory I have that has literally nothing to back it up whatsoever. It's just kind of going off of vibes and going off of small expectations or something that I think could maybe happen. So episode 1, obviously weird shit happened that was inexplainable. Like, we didn't have a clue what the hell happened there. And so my thinking is that maybe Hoin Kyoma sent himself to a point in time in the past that he knew he would be in, and in sending his memories back to that past, the version of him that didn't have those memories was shot into maybe the timeline that Hoin Kyoma was from. Maybe there was some transference. So I don't know if he will learn more as he goes on, that when you send your memories to the past, a transference happens, an equal exchange, which sends that version of you to your timeline without those memories. Again, like I've said, I have nothing to back that up. I have no proof whatsoever for that, but my thinking is that since that is a point in time he literally knows that something happened there. He was transferred, some weird shit happened, he sent a text, he sent an email, a mail that triggered the phone microwave. He knows that worked, so he will send something back to that point in time so that he is aware and he can control the conditions. Again, no, nothing to back it up, just what I'm expecting. I don't know if that means he goes and kills Kurisu. That would be pretty tragic. We'll see where things go with that, but for now we're just going to check out episode 13. I'm very excited for it, so here we go. Steins Gate, episode 13. Let's go. Oh, I just realized we're going to have to go back to that point in time. Literally just as episode 12 ended, that's where we're going to pick up, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Oh, screw you. You're making me watch it again? She literally welcomed you into this room with niceties. She was speaking to you very formally, with titles of respect. I can't believe they made me watch this again. Get away from her? Piss off. Get away from me. Kurisu's desperation. That's gonna be our motivation going forward. Holy shit, she's here! Why couldn't you show up 5 minutes earlier? Oh, the tattoo. We're going to remember that tattoo. She took down everyone but this girl. Is her name even Moeka? 42? What? Holy shit, okay, nice. Oh, the future Gatch is coming in clutch. Oh shit, yeah. Oh my god. We have no time to worry about that. Holy shit, this better work. This better work, because all of our friends are dying. Metaphysics necrosis. Oh shit. It's a necrosis to do with, like, the dead? Still an element. We're sending memories to our younger self? Her grandmother died? Oh my god. Okay, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. That's her grandmother's. Oh my god. That's so sad. And she looked through her hand at it. Jeez. Grandma came to you. She opened the skies and came to see you. Aww. Aww. You're my hostage. Jeez, that's so crazy. So short seen as a kid. Oh, he put on this act the whole time for her? Oh, that's so sad. I heard a very faint toot-toot-oo. Oh shit, where are we? Where are we? What point in time? Almost 5. Oh, we're the day before. That's right, we could only go 48 hours. Time is flowing. We've got less than a day, maybe an entire day. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. Okabe, you can't do all of this alone. I thought that's what you were learning. His phone was ringing. She's not stupid. That's true. That is true. The world line has to have changed. Maybe Ruka's not going to be a girl in this world line. Suzuha, yeah. No. Yeah, they're not going to do shit. Shit. 30 minutes? Jeez, okay, we're really late. Yeah, where is she? We're trying everyone? Too bad. She knows! That's why we like her. Okay, at least we're not lying. We're just telling. Just run anywhere. Jeez. Okay. Wow. This respect between the two right now is everything. Don't do anything weird. We can't promise it, but we'll try our best. Is time still gonna freeze though? What happens there? Aww. This time it might suck her up. It might bring her in. Everyone like, I'll tell you later. I don't like that we're yelling, but I understand the desperation of the moment. Yeah, it's hard to understand something like this. Don't want to, no. We had to. It was our last possible choice. That was a beautiful moment. I just realized when Suzu has said 42 CRT is on, she was basically saying, hey, you can do the experiment. I don't know why I never realized that's what she was saying at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, it's happened. Jeez, they're here. Oh my god. Oh, someone saved us. Oh, but we're running. That was the perfect opportunity for you to like ensure she stays alive. She was in a crowd of people. You could have just left her there. Oh no. Jesus Christ! Oh my god, so every time we go back, we have to watch her die again? And it's Moeka every time, like screw you. Holy shit. Mayuri is the one who died? So someone has to die every time? Oh, I love this OST right now. Damn, we're really messing with our head right now, our own head. We're setting ourselves back yet again. We have to tell them. My head right now is turning into jelly. Please find her. Rukako. Yes. Good idea. Oh shit, okay, we're actually doing something. Okay, we're actually gonna get her. We get to her a lot sooner. Okay, we're getting her timeline of events. Yeah, we can't use the lab. For a while? Are you sure they're not tracking you or monitoring you? Oh shit. Not like that. Ruka, get your mind out of the gutter. The subway. The way they're so quiet right now. The scene is very tense. Oh. Since they were kids. Jeez, they're being monitored already. Jeez, it's already too late. Like, what can they do? I don't think they can do anything. Oh, this is getting frustrating. Just seeing that he's doing everything he can, but it's never enough. Oh no. Promise, did something happen? Tell me later, okay? Damn, you gotta love that Kurisu's just like, I trust you. Just don't do anything that will do anything crazy, please. Ah, shit, it begins. Ah, damn. Yeah, the trains have stopped working. You wanna ask questions? Please do. Don't keep everyone out in the cold, Okabe. You gotta bring everyone in. Oh, the Grip Titans. we're doing all this to try and protect you. Yeah, don't worry about not being able to help. You are worth saving. Don't tell me someone's gonna push her in. Nye? Oh no, pull her back. Pull her back. No! This goddamn child is gonna fall in and die? Jeez, that's grim. Never mind, the child pushes her in? Holy shit, she is destined to die? Once time stops working, like once time stops, she's literally destined to die, and that's what Moeka was talking about with when she said she was the one who died. It's like one of them is destined to no matter what, like there's nothing that can be done about it. Oh my god. Yeah, obviously you didn't mean to, but like, holy shit, you don't do that up right next to the train tracks. And this time it wasn't Moeka either, so it's not like it's just Moeka, it's literally everyone. And everything. What is happening here? This episode was a mind melter for sure. Holy shit. And that was episode number 13 of Steins Gate. Another just eye-opening episode. We are starting to kind of figure out and realize what is really happening here. Like, I say that, but we couldn't be farther from knowing what is happening than we are right now, but at the same time, as a viewer, it's getting more and more clear, especially with verbiage, words that are being used by Moeka, things that are happening, seeing everything that happened in this episode. Someone has to die. It's as simple as that. Someone has to die at this point in time when time stops moving. And it's very metaphoric. Time stops moving as soon as Mayushi dies. Well, time stops moving and then Mayushi dies, if we're being literal, but, you know, from a metaphoric standpoint, it's like time has stopped moving for our characters. Time has stopped moving for Rintaro. Time has stopped moving for everyone else around us, Kurisu and Daru, I'm sure, as well. But they are kind of out of the loop. They're not as aware. They're not as knowledgeable. They don't know as much as we do. And so in watching this episode, like, I feel like I say this quite a bit, but I hate comparing two different series with one another, because my point isn't trying to say one is doing the same thing as the other or anything like that, but there is a comparison to be made between what Okabe is doing here in these episodes and what Subaru has been doing in ReZero. They are both using means that they can to travel to the past, essentially, to change the future. And I think that makes it really funny that it's White Fox that has been producing both of these series. I think that that is really, really cool that they both have their main protagonists be the same, not the same character, but they are essentially trying to do the same thing to protect or to save someone that they love and someone that they care about. And both of them, you could argue, are almost like thrust into these roles, you know, like they have no real other option than to do these go to the past things with the time leap or with return by death. They're kind of placed in these situations where they have to do that, because otherwise someone is dead that they care about, someone that they don't want to lose, and so they must travel to the past to fix things. And each time they go back, they maintain and they retain their memories. And so that helps them start to come up with a plan and start to think of how they can fix things. And I'm really excited to see how the mad scientist Hoin Kyoma comes up with an idea to put things right. I'm sure that the rest of the series is going to be following a very erratic, a very I will do whatever it takes sort of Okabe Rintaro, one that we have not seen yet until this point. And I think that his character is really going to explode into all these different potentials. He has the potential to go a complete vengeance route, track down Moeka and try to take her out before anything can happen. He has the opportunity to try and do some sciencey shit to, figure out a way that he can protect Mayushi by potentially transferring her consciousness, her memories, so she is aware of things, transferring everyone else's. There's a bunch. It feels like there are so many different avenues that they can go down at this point that can influence a potential future. That's why I'm extremely excited to see where we actually go with this. Do we go down every single avenue that has potential? Do we go down the vengeance route, figure out that it's not really worth it because now Daru is dead or something random like that? Do we go down the send our memories back way, way further than 48 hours, send them back a month to the point where the satellite crashed? I can't remember how long it's been. It's probably been like a week or two, probably not a month, but to when the satellite crashed and all of that, and figure out a way to change things from that present. There's just a lot of potential within the series now, and I'm very excited to see where it goes, because right up until this point we were kind of just following them along as they were doing their silly little experiments, figuring out that things weren't all as they seemed and things felt a little odd and ominous. But now things have gone off the deep end, and it's gonna keep going. It feels like it's not gonna stop anymore. It feels like from here until this series ends, we are not stopping this ball. This ball is rolling, and this ball is going to pick up speed, pick up momentum, and take down as many people as it can as it's traveling down that path. And yeah, this is I don't know how to express. I feel like my reactions during this episode maybe weren't as intense as some of my others, simply because I was dead focused on consuming everything I saw. I was trying to piece together puzzle pieces. I was trying to watch intently and see if I could notice anything out of the odd. This is definitely, I know the previous episode number 12, was a huge episode for those final moments, but this episode to me is the confirmation that we are going down this path. Previous episode I could only theorize. This episode, I know we are going down a path that is unlike the first half of this season. The first half of the series was so different, and now we are going in a complete different direction. And I am, I think it's going to be a wild ride. I think we're going to meet a lot of crazy moments. I think we're going to experience a lot of crazy moments, but man, am I ready for it. It's going to be intense. The first minute and a half of this episode is basically recapping the end of the previous episode. We're watching that whole situation go down again. As much as I didn't want to see it again, it's almost like they had to pick off immediately here. They can't just not go back to this moment. They can't go to a flashback. Well, they could have gone to a flashback, I guess, of a nice moment between Okabe and Mayushi, but in this kind of situation, they have to go immediately back to this. And so showing us the lead up to this again lets us get back to that point we were in at the end of the previous episode, so we're ready for the rest of what is about to come down, because it's hard to just be thrust into that. If we went back to exactly when Okabe had Mayushi in his arms, it would have just been like a whiplash effect, whereas we're getting to that point. So I do appreciate that they spent the first minute and a half of this episode recapping that, because it really let me get to that emotive state. I felt the same emotions I felt at the end of the last episode. So really, honestly, White Fox, I wish I didn't have to see it again, but thank you for letting me get there without it just being like this huge whoosh effect. And Moeka is saying get away from her, and that's when Okabe's like, you'll pay for this, you're not going to get away with this, I'll find a way to make you pay. So right there, he's basically saying, I will get my vengeance, I will get some sort of revenge, I will make sure that you suffer for what you did, Moeka, and I will not let you get away with this. And so then Kurisu starts screaming, "Get away from her, she'll shoot you too." And the desperation in Kurisu's voice right there, it cannot be understated. It was so like, it really felt real. I don't know how voice actors are so readily able to get themselves to a point where it really sounds like these characters are in these situations. Like it sounded really desperate and really intense, and that was a great job to the voice actress for Kurisu, and of course great job to the voice actor for Okabe, because he has been absolutely killing it with the eccentricity when it's required, and also these deep bottom of the barrel moments for Rintaro. He is so desperate when he is saying, "Don't do it, please." And it really sounds like he has been placed in this situation. It sounds like the director of this episode was like, okay, you voice actor, you are being put in the worst possible situation. Your family is being held hostage and you're asking the attackers not to do anything. Like he's really hitting every single moment so perfectly here, because then when he's screaming, I'll get you for this, I'll make you pay." Oh, it's got so much badass energy from a character I would not have expected that kind of energy from. And it doesn't sound whiny and pathetic. It sounds like, I am going to make your life hell. And you just wait and see. I am going to make sure you suffer for this. And I think that it was really well delivered. And yeah, the way everything is so intense in those moments, then right as that's happening, Suzuha storms the room. She takes out a bunch of the different attackers, the gunmen that came in with Moeka, and all that's left is Moeka and Suzuha both pointing guns at one another. We do see a symbol, a tattoo, on one of the gunmen's necks, and I wonder if this tattoo is indicative of a group of people, or if we will just see this same character again in the future with this tattoo, and that's how we know who he is and who he's working with and all of that. And we're going to be able to pull a reverse him on him, where we track him down and we follow him to get to who we need to see. It was a little frustrating seeing that Suzuha showed up this late. She could have shown up literally 30 seconds earlier and saved Mayushi's life. Like, it was a little disappointing. I get that she ran away worried about what was happening, what was going to happen, and maybe it was once she heard the gunshot, that's when she came back. Like, I'm not giving her shit, I just wish she had been there from the second this was all going down, because things could have went in a different direction, things could have been swayed, we could have saved a life here. But then, going based off of what Moeka said in the second scenario where Mayushi died, it seems like someone has to die, because she did say it was Mayuri who died and Okabe Rintaro is captured. But Suzuha and Moeka are both, they're tough. They are tough women, and it's so cool to see them both doing their thing. And Suzuha's like action pose as she's like kneeling down to the ground with the gun pointed at Moeka is so cool, but at the same time I feel like she's at a crazy disadvantage because of this angle, and all she does is say 42 CRT is on. And while I was watching this, I was a little confused. I gotta admit, I'm embarrassed by the fact I didn't pick up on this right away. I realized halfway through the episode, because while I was watching the episode, it was still in the back of my head, like, that's really bothering me. I feel like I should know what she was talking about, and it just came to me at a really bizarre moment. And that's when we are clued in that we gotta go and do this experiment. We gotta send our memories to the past. Kurisu is the first to realize, and she runs straight for the computer. And I don't know who it is that activates what is it, future gadget number 6 or something? I can't remember which one it is. The humidifier, which I thought it was kind of just a silly little invention, but it's so cool seeing that it actually had a practical use in this scenario that benefited us. So that's what Okabe says. He will send his memories to the past, and Kurisu is shot in that moment as we are traveling to the past. We are time leaping, and it just feels like this is our only opportunity to fix things, because otherwise Kurisu's dead, Mayushi's dead, and who knows what's going to happen to anyone else. So we time leap, and then that's when we get a flashback to the moment between Okabe and Mayushi, where he called her a hostage to him. He said, "You're my hostage." And while I was watching the first half of the series, I was like, yeah, that the use of the word hostage is very strange here. I thought it was kind of just metaphoric and not literal, but instead it seems that Mayushi was mentally held hostage by Okabe. And so that's what makes the previous episode a little more heartbreaking when Mayushi says, "I'm no longer your hostage," because she has freed herself from that. She's freed Rintaro from that burden of protecting her. And it's once that burden is removed, that's when she is killed so mercilessly. But the flashback was beautiful. It really gave me a lot of insight into the relationship the two of them have had from a very young age. Rintaro has essentially been I don't know if I would say overprotective, but a very protective older brother, it would seem. That's how it feels anyway. Like an older brother who just wants to protect Mayushi from any evil, any bad in this world. He wants to preserve her innocence, preserve her goodness. And she is a good character. She is so innocent. She is so sweet. And he wants to protect that. And it's very clear that that has been the case since they were very young children. It's also kind of like indicated that his whole Hoin Kyoma persona is simply a front for Mayushi. And that front is to showcase that he is a mad scientist because that's something that he saw on a TV and it's something that he said in these moments to Mayushi. That's not actually really him. He is a person. He is Okabe Rintaro, and he adopted that persona for Mayushi, or I think anyway. That's how it seemed, and it's very sweet that that is the case, because the love that he has for her, it is so special. They are like, I don't know if it's a romantic kind of love, but it feels like they have so much love and respect, and they just like have this deep bond with one another. Like I really don't know if it's romantic. I don't think it is whatsoever. I think it's simply that he is like an older brother to Mayushi, and I think she looks up to him like an older brother. And I do really think it's very special and sweet, and I love seeing them together, seeing every scene, because every scene they're together, it's like Okabe becomes Okabe. He's not Hoin Kyoma, the persona, the face he puts on around others. He simply seems to be himself around her. And that's why he is going out of his way to bring her back, because he kind of promised her when they were children that he would protect her. He wouldn't let anyone take her. And so a lot of the rest of this episode is spent trying to catch up with Mayushi, trying to figure out where she is, trying to stop these bad things from happening. And we spend a decent sizable amount of time running around like a headless chicken, which is great because in moments like these, if you're put in a situation like this, your thought, your logic, any sense of what you think will or should happen is out the window. You're going to literally just run around like a maniac. And I think this episode captured that perfectly. I think that it showed exactly what would happen to someone. And I think that Okabe Rintaro, you cannot fault him for running around the way he did. Like, yes, he could have stayed by Suzuha because he knew that eventually she would go to Suzuha. Like, that's logic. If you want to catch her before anything goes down, wait by Suzuha, wait for Mayushi to get there, and that's when you pull her aside. I don't know if I'm just thinking crazy, but logically, if you know someone is going to be there at a certain time, that's where you go. Kurisu, being who she is, figures out what Okabe did. She doesn't really question him in front of Daru when she realizes it. She waits until she is probably alone and Okabe is running around to ask, "Hey, did you time leap? Because you were acting very strange," right as your phone rang. And he doesn't want to basically tell her right away, but he kind of does then eventually give in and say, "Yes, I did. And I will tell you all about it later. I can't do it right now. I will tell you later." And she's like, "Yeah, please do. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't do anything crazy, please. And I love the newfound respect between the two. The two of them just seem like they have this great rapport, this great ability to bounce off each other. They get each other, they understand each other, and they know what it is they need to do for each other. I don't know. I really did like seeing these interactions between the two in this episode. Okabe theorizes that he is literally time travel. There's no world line shenanigans anymore. He is simply in the same world line, but in the past now. And I don't know how true that is. I feel like for now, theoretically, could be true. Sure, that could have happened, but there has to be a different world line, because now there's a world line where you know things you didn't know a day ago or several hours ago. Like it just feels like there has to have at least been a world line split. So I do still think there's a world line out there where Mayushi was killed in that way. But we are trying to create a world line where we are present. We are existing in a world line where she doesn't get killed. But who will be killed instead is the question. Okabe finds Mayushi finally and grabs her and starts running. He says, we are going to go somewhere. We're going to get away from here. I will explain all of this later. Just please trust me. And Mayushi is very worried. She doesn't understand what is happening, but she is willing to listen to him and to hear him out and to trust him, because he's the one who saved her all those years ago. He's the one that's been by her side all these years. She has a great deal of trust and respect for him, and love, of course. And so that's why she is willing to just follow him in these moments. She doesn't need a reason, because he will explain later. She trusts that he will. But of course, someone follows them and points a gun at his back. And he says, you're coming with me. And in my head, I'm like, this is perfect. You let go of Mayushi's hand. Say, hey, actually change your plans. You stay here and I'll come find you later. Or you go somewhere. Like, he could have left her here and she could have been okay, because there's so many people that are not going to kill her in front of all these people. And he could have just went with them. But that didn't happen. Someone bumped into this guy with a gun. And so the guy dropped his gun or dropped his guard, whatever, got bumped out of the way. And that gave Okabe and Mayushi the opportunity to run. So they start running. They run through alleyways. They manage to get away from these people for about a brief moment, because after that brief moment, he gets tackled from an alleyway and Mayushi goes to run into another alleyway, and that's when Moeka pulls out with a car and hits her, killing her in seconds. And it's very sad and upsetting to see that this seems to be the new normal. The new normal is watching Mayushi die, and the new normal is that she must die, she will die, and that this is the kind of thing that has to happen. Someone has to die here, and we don't know why. We don't get any reason as to why, but my thinking now is that maybe someone from the future, one of our friends perhaps, Okabe, Kurisu, Daru, someone who maybe was present and who is aware of all this stuff going on, knows that someone dies in these moments. And so that's why Moeka calls and says it was Mayuri died, because someone has to die, because they know someone dies here. I don't know, my brain is like a million pieces of jelly just trying to get back together after it's been mashed up. Like it's really hard to just come up with solid thoughts here. And so after exclaiming that he will save Mayushi no matter what, Okabe Ritaro does a time leap once again, this time with more of a concrete plan, better ideas, knowledge of where things are going to be, what's going to happen and everything. And so this time he calls Ruka and says, hey, is she there? And Ruka says, oh, she's just about to leave. She's actually just walked away. Why? And he says, keep her there. I'll be there as soon as I can, and don't let her leave until I get there. So it works out really perfectly that he's able to get there while she's still there. So we meet up with Mayushi immediately. Right away, we know that she's there. And so we come up with a plan that we're going to take a train to get as far away from here as possible. But of course, with the trains not running because of a bomb threat, it's nearly impossible to do that. Like they're not able to get away. They're heading towards that line or whatever, the train station, in the previous attempt, he was reminded that the bomb threat was happening, and that's when the guy pointed a gun at him. So he decided that they were going to take the subway this time. And as they're going to the subway, Okabe notices someone watching him from a car, and it could have been pure paranoia, but it feels like that has to have been someone watching them, because they're being watched. We know this because there's no way they just start following them like 20 minutes before. They probably follow them all day. They probably have eyes on every single member of the future lab. Okabe learns that Mayushi plans to go to Fubuki, a friend of hers, and fix a piece of thread for a cosplay outfit, and so that gives Okabe another piece of information as to where she goes after Ruka's. And I imagine we will use this information in the next episode, in an upcoming episode, because that gives us time, once we travel to the past, our memories travel to the past, to maybe go and do something before we go to Mayushi. We can put plans into effect. We can figure something out. They get to the subway, and Mayushi has a simple request. Please, when this is all over, can you explain what's happening? And it's so heartbreaking, because the level of trust she has in him, that she is willing to run away with him for this day and trust him entirely, not question anything, but simply ask if he can tell her after everything has happened. She will trust him to do what needs to be done. Until then, Mayushi apologizes for not being able to help, but that's bullshit. We know that she helps in more ways than anyone. She helps Okabe in ways that can never be fully explained. I'm sure there's video essays out there, but I'm not here to try to come up with coherent thoughts because my mind is jelly, sorry. But she is his rock. And so if he loses her, he's lost. And she is very important, and she helps in more ways than she could ever know. But sadly, this is the point where Nae comes running into the subway. She sees Mayushi there, and she's screaming after Mayushi. And of course, what happens? She trips over her own feet. She trips over someone else's feet and bumps into Mayushi. Where was your father here? You know, like, how did you get here? And why are you running right next to train lines? Like, I'm sorry for shitting all over this child in this situation, but like, come on, like, this was a disaster waiting to happen. And so Nae bumps into Mayushi, and Mayushi falls into the train tracks, and that's it. She is killed once again, as we can only watch on in absolute distraught as we say that we're going to save her, when at this point it feels like, is there even a way that we can? Like, I don't know. It's a really rough watch, but one that, with the right amount of planning and the right amount of knowledge, I am sure Okabe Rintaro can save Mayushi. I just don't know how, and I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to be following this along, and I suspect we might see some of our other friends die before we get to that point, because if what Moeka said is what I believe it to be, someone has to die. There has to be some sort of death in these moments. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. This was a batshit insane episode. I'm so glad I was able to check this out today, and I hope that you guys enjoy. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment if you haven't already down below, letting me know when you watched Steins Gate. When did you check the series out? And yeah, I will be back in the next one. I hope that you guys are having a great day today, that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.